Hello everyone and welcome back to Space Engineers. Today I'm doing a mod overview of the Directed Energy Weapons mod. All the information about the weapons in this mod will be displayed on screen as I go. I'm going to be focusing more on the details of the weapons in my commentary and just generally how good this mod is. So the first weapon in this mod is called the Point Defense Laser. This really resembles a CCTV camera, like one of those ball ones. And I think this looks really cool and is really inconspicuous. If it's on a ship and it's painted a dark colour, it's really difficult to see. And this weapon can shoot you from 500 meters away, which is pretty impressive considering it's only a point defense weapon. It shoots a red constant beam, so it will never turn off as long as it's powered. And I would suggest using this against players, wolves and spiders. As you can see, it doesn't really do much damage to large grids, like heavy armor blocks, that kind of thing. And it's also a 1x1x1 grid scale, so you can fit many of these in a small area, just like the upcoming two weapons, which I'll get onto in a moment. But as you can see, it is taking a long time to get through this heavy armor block, which is even more why I'd suggest you only use this against players. As you can see, it only got the heavy armor block down to 94%. But quickly moving on, this is the anti-fighter laser turret. It says it uses 5 megawatts, but I don't believe that because that seems too low for a weapon like this. It has a 1000 meter range, which is perfect for shooting down fighters as it's slightly higher than the vanilla weapons. Now, this shoots pink lasers, which you can see by the actual design of the weapon, and it shoots really well, but I wouldn't suggest using it against players because the gap in the middle of the two lasers is actually bigger than the size of a player. Moving on to the light laser turret. This is probably my favourite weapon in the mod. It's so efficient. It only consumes about 25 megawatts, which if you have a reactor mod like the Azimuth fusion reactors, that's not much power. And it has an amazing 2000 meter range, so I would suggest using this against large grids like stations and capital ships. And there's also a double and triple version of this weapon, just like the heavy laser turret, which I'll get onto in a moment. So the heavy laser turret uses twice the power but has 3000 meters of range. So it has an orange laser and it shoots with much more power. Now, as you can see, that did a lot of damage against that heavy armor. It went right through, as you'll see in a second, which is really, really impressive. The only thing is with the heavy laser turret, it moves really, really slowly, so if it goes to aim at a target, it will take a long time with up-close targets. There are also other variants such as these, which are designed to be mounted on the side. Both the light and heavy variants look really, really cool. The design is essentially the same. Moving on to the light fixed laser. This weapon uses quite a high 150 megawatts. It's a constant beam, unlike the turrets, which are both pulse beams, and it's a 1x1x8 grid. Now, that's pretty big, but if you have loads of these together in the front of a ship, it's not actually that bad, and you can get a lot of these and do a lot of damage in that small area. And as you can see, it doesn't take too long to cut through this heavy armor, but it does take longer than the heavy laser turret. Moving on to the large version and more powerful version of the heavy laser turret, Now it claims to use 50 megawatts, but I don't believe that considering the smaller variant uses 3 times that. But as you can see, it completely destroys the heavy armor and goes right through it in a second. Now if you think this can't get any more powerful, wait until you see the ultra heavy fixed laser. Moving on to the ultra heavy fixed laser. This uses a ridiculous 400,000 megawatts. And it's a green beam and it's a pulse weapon unlike the two other fixed lasers, and you'll see it fire in a second. I believe the scale of this is 9x9x44, although I may have the 44 wrong. I wouldn't really even suggest this to be used against capital ships because it does so much damage. You can see, despite there being more heavy armor blocks, it still goes through and causes a lot of lag. It's very reminiscent of the Death Star laser beam. So that concludes my review of the Directed Energy Weapons mod by Clockwork168. The workshop link for this mod will be in the description below if you want to use this mod. I really suggest using this mod, it's fantastic. and it's pretty fair on players that don't have these weapons because they require a lot of power to run, which is why I'd suggest using another mod like the Azimuth Power mod or the Deuterium Fusion Reactors mod, which is the next review I'll be doing on this channel. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it and consider subscribing.